Welcome back to Kearney's Infinity Bottle. So today we are going to be sampling our newest blend, which started off with the Elijah Craig, and then we went to the Four Roses, and then we went to the Knob Creek 12 year. Today we are going to be adding Maker's 46. Maker's 46 is one of my favorite bourbons. It's my go-to when I'm out at a bar or restaurant. I like it because it's got some very cinnamon notes, it's got the caramel notes, it's got the vanilla notes, but I like the boldness that it brings. This is one that you can drink neat, tastes delicious, you can put it on the rocks, it holds its flavor, and it's very very smooth and easy to drink. So first, let's start off with sampling our blend. All right, so we're going to measure out 3 ounces. Set that aside for now, and I'm going to start off with putting about 1.5 ounces neat in both of the glasses. So let's sample it neat, see what we got. You can actually really, you can smell that Knob Creek 12 year. You really can. You can smell the sweetness of it already coming through, even though there was only 3 ounces in there. But you can definitely see that it has started to change the dynamics and the profile of our bourbon blend. Very smooth, still has a lot of the Elijah Craig, but as it finishes, you get that final taste, like sweetness across the bridge of your mouth. Now you can really start to tell that the Knob Creek was coming through there. Don't really smell and taste the Four Roses too much, but it does have that little bit of a bite, a little bit of burn on that second sip. You're starting to get that tingle in the back of your throat. That's a little bit more from the Four Roses, because the Elijah Craig and or the Knob Creek don't really present that. So neat, I'd say it's pretty good. Let's try it with some rocks. A little bit of a swirl. When it's chilled, it really does calm it down a little bit. You're still getting all the same profiles, flavors, but it's not as aggressive. It's a little bit cooler on the tongue, and it takes a little bit longer, but I am starting to feel that tingle across my my front lips there. I'm not able to really get the definitive. You can't isolate the different flavors like you can when it's neat. When it's neat, you can definitely single them out. When it's cooled and on the rocks, it just kind of blends a little bit more mellow. All right, well, with that being said, let's go ahead and jump into the next phase. All right, so the reason why I went with the Maker's 46, Maker's is overall a great bourbon. I love regular Maker's, and I love Maker's 46. I really like the Maker's 46 because it is a little bit sweeter, it is a little bit smoother, plus it also feels good when you say Maker's 46. So let's go ahead and get the 3 ounces out of there. Made sure I brought my funnel this time. Last time I got lucky, it didn't spill any, but this time I wanted to make sure. All right, so we'll set the Maker's 46, set it aside, and now that it's kind of had a little bit chance to cool down a little bit more, let's go ahead and try it again. Really is starting to smooth. Doesn't have that bold flavorness when you put it on the ice, which is what I was hoping that the Maker's 46 will help bring, because like I mentioned, on the rocks with a little bit of splash of water straight, you always get that bold flavor from the Maker's 46. So that's what I'm hoping to bring to the bottle a little bit. I want to keep that same profile so far with the vanilla, with the caramel, with the cinnamon. I'm trying to smooth it out a little bit. I'm looking for a smoother blend, something that you can sip neat and something that you can just dive right into on the rocks. So thank you very much for watching. I'll update you once we try it with the 46. See you next week.